Shutdown vote is occurring right now as we speak. Well, not the vote, but they are debating and arguing about it in the House. We will be covering that live. Also, crypto took an amazing bloodbath today. We got to talk about that and dissect just what the heck is happening, not just in crypto in general, but also in the RH ecosystem as well. Speaking of which, there is a new project called ProveX. What's going on with ProveX? What do you need to know about it? Should you sacrifice for it? We'll talk about that today. Also, a rumor that Richard Hart might be streaming soon. In a few days, he may actually start streaming. And if that's the case, well, I got a lot to say about that. In fact, I have a complete speech written out for Richard of exactly what he needs to say on that live stream. I will go over it with you guys tonight. Also, is deflation finally coming here to the United States? Are our dreams about to come true? We'll talk about all of that on today's episode of Shut the FUD Up. I'm Cairo Copeland, and this is Reinvent Ideal. Welcome to Shut the FUD Up, where we destroy all of the lies, all of the rumors, all of the trash talking that goes on in crypto spaces. And right now, what we're going to be covering today here, live while we're at it, is the House floor vote when it comes up. You see, right now, they're not really voting yet. It's all just debate. You want to hear like this clown speak here?
Other problems that we should be working to solve, but about getting the government back open while not holding the American
Not really
people
going to say
hostage.
anything important right here. See, it's all just a bunch of bloviating going on in the debate leading up to the vote. And you know how it's going to go here. It's like, the Republicans are going to say, oh, the Democrats are keeping us from being able to vote and keeping us from opening the government. And then the Democrats are going to be like, no, it's those evil Republicans because they won't let us give free food and health care to illegal aliens. You know how it goes here and everything. So we'll be covering this live when the vote happens. And we'll also be checking out how is the market going to react to it. I think it'd be nice to see live here. How does the market react to the immediate change in the government being open again for business? That is, of course, assuming that they do vote to open the government. And I think they will, just because the control of the House is it lies with the Republicans, and it's much more dominant over in the House as well. So, a lot to talk about on today's program. Let's get into the things that we usually start with here, which, let's see, I got that over in which window? This window? Yeah, this window here. Let's begin with the market, because it has been an absolute bloodbath today here. Ah, damn it, it's going to make me log in here. Okay, bear with me here for a moment. Coin market crap always pulls something like this. Oh, and now that I've logged back in here, the prices have gone down a lot further. All right, check this out here. Oh my, 101,500 on Bitcoin. Not good. Not good. Still, it's incredible that we are holding above 100,000, despite the fact that we have more old school Bitcoin whales selling. I think it was $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin was sold today from like some very old and ancient wallets. And we stayed above 100,000. That's incredible. I don't know how you could be anything other than hopeful, at least. I want to say bullish, but nobody's going to be bullish right now. But how can you not be impressed that we stayed above 100,000 after $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin sales? Now, let's have ourselves a good laugh. Ethereum, the biggest piece of garbage in the entire market, ran by the saddest, sorriest, pathetic fool of a founder, Vitalik, who actually had the nerve to start mouthing off to David Sachs, the AI and crypto czar, about something totally unrelated, when we're all just like, yo, Vitalik, why don't you shut up about the AI and get back to work on something that really matters, like keeping your stupid foundation from hurting the investors, selling down the price every opportunity they get? We don't give a damn what your opinion is, Vitalik, about AI, because right now you're totally discrediting yourself on your opinion about anything at all, because of what a piss poor founder you're being with your first project, Ethereum. It's absolutely disgraceful the way that he's acting and how everybody lets him get away with it. I mean, the Bankless boys basically let him get away with murder every time they interviewed him, because they would say, hey, Vitalik, you big dumb idiot, why does your foundation sell on the investors' heads every chance they get? That should be the first question that they ask him, but they didn't ask him that. Everything else here is not looking great either. World Liberty Finance, though, is kind of like really holding its own line. That's good, because that's where the insiders trade, I think. Impressively, ICP is kind of holding its ground here as well. Everything else, though, oh man, it's just all sorts of nasty. Real nasty. And some really good prices to accumulate more crypto here, if that's what you're looking to do right now. You got great prices out there. You can scoop a whole bunch of this up. We don't know. Does it go down further? I mean, I think if the vote fails tonight, absolutely it goes down further. But what does it do if the government reopens? Because we can't really rely on crypto to go up on good news right now. How about the Pulse Chain ecosystem? It really got kicked in the teeth last night with the announcement of ProveX. And man, this just looks so brutal here compared to where it was just a few days ago. Now, here's the thing with me here is like these prices I think are very good for accumulating, but you really got to just DCA. Do not plow all the way in right away right now, or at least I would not be doing that, because as rough as these prices are, they could still get a lot worse. They can still go much lower. So, man, we've just been getting kicked in the teeth for a long time here, but it looks like things might be turning around here soon. I'm hoping that like what this represents is that all of the negative trash talkers are finally out of the ecosystem. As far as the news goes, we did have some things. We did have some news here. Let's just check the. Oop, hang on. It's not showing it here. Sorry, guys. Let me fix that. Meant to share the whole window, but it wasn't sharing it. All right. So, it was, this was some news here. Boston Fed President Collins advocates holding rates steady. We'll come to that story here in a moment. There was another one. Oh, yeah, the Lisa Cook. There was an update on that. And then also this here. 3 stories on the Federal Reserve on CNBS today. Very nice. So, this is a new one I haven't seen here before, so I'll be reading it raw here with you. Susan Collins said she will be reluctant to support further rate cuts anytime soon if inflation's still high. It's not high, honey. We just got a report of some deflation today here. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. Policymakers are hampered by a lack of data. You're just looking for any excuse you can to be as hawkish as possible, right? Given my baseline outlook, it will likely be appropriate to keep policy rates at current level for some time to balance the inflation and employment risks in this highly uncertain environment. I see several reasons to have a relatively high bar for additional easing in the near term. What I'm thinking is going to happen, guys, is I'm thinking they are going to pause on this next meeting. I do think that happens. I do think they pause at the next meeting here. I mean, it's a long ways away and anything can happen, but I think they pause and that causes a big drop in the markets. Now, if you've been watching me, you should already be braced here for this, because the deal was you knew Q4 was always going to suck. You knew Q4 was going to be horrible, and it is going to be horrible. Like, nothing good is going to happen in Q4, I don't think. I don't know what the heck is up with Tom Lee going, oh, yes, Ethereum's going to be $10,000 before year end. Where are you getting this from, man? What do you base that on? They never really ask him, hey, what do you base that on? Why do you think that's going to happen? Because it hasn't performed well all year. You got the worst founder in the world named Vitalik Buterin, who doesn't care about any of you. In fact, he's probably laughing at you, Tom. So I don't understand why you think it's going to go to 10,000. I mean, I hope you're right. I hope to God you are right. I want you to be right. But I see zero reason for you to have any sort of optimism around that piece of trash called Ethereum. Help me here, all right? But what I was saying, yeah, nothing good is going to happen in Q4. At least I can't foresee anything good happening. And even if this interest rate cut did occur, even if it did occur right here, it wouldn't do anything for us just yet. All right, Supreme Court to hear arguments on Trump bid to fire Fed Gov Lisa Cook. They don't have much opinion or any other additional news here on this story other than the date that the Supreme Court is going to start hearing the oral arguments. It's good that we know when things are going to get moving here, but we don't know much else beyond that. Don't know much else beyond it. And let's see, as far as the case here, it's got nothing else here to say about it. Now, my hope for this, you guys know what my hope is, that the Supreme Court will rule that the Federal Reserve should not be independent at all, because there's nothing in the Constitution that says we should have an independent Federal Reserve. That would be like a fourth branch of government, and that is not in the Constitution. And also, Article 2, they may rule, though Article 2 of the Constitution gives the president the power to vote out or force out, to fire anyone that he wants to in these agencies and these supposed independent entities of the government, even though Federal Reserve is not quite government. My hope is that that is how they're going to rule. I cannot say for sure that they will, and I'm not going to rely on that. I'm not going to hang my hat on that, because there are a couple of justices on the Supreme Court where we just don't know how they're going to vote, John Roberts being one of them. And Kavanaugh might be another. I forget who the other one is, but I think that Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch, we can rely on them to vote in favor of Trump. The liberal justices, well, you can't rely on them for anything. You know they are going to vote against Trump. But those three in the middle, I'm not quite sure. So it could be a 6-3 decision, a 5-4 decision. And I don't know which way it's going to go, though. That was that story. Now, this one here. Atlanta Fed President Bostic says he'll leave position when his term expires in February. Don't think this is not something that Trump can put one of his own guys on the Federal Open Market Committee to replace him. So it's a story, but it's not really a big story. If he was one of the governors of the Federal Reserve, man, this would be big news. This would be front page everywhere. This would be the best news that would be possibly good if he was a Fed governor. But he wasn't a Fed governor. He was a Fed president. So Trump does not get to appoint his replacement. The board of directors of the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank will get to appoint this guy's replacement. And we don't know, are they hawkish, they dovish? We don't know how that's going to go, how that's going to end up. And I don't think it matters too much here, because I don't think that like the Atlanta Fed has any votes on the Open Market Committee coming up at the next couple of meetings. So it's kind of a story, but not really a story. But here's something that is a story. The DXY, the dollar index, it's had a little bit of a spike today to the upside, but it's been pretty flat compared to where it started out and where it was yesterday. Had a spike this morning, then it came right back down. Some not very good news. That's neutral news there. I'm going to talk about some good news here, though. Look at this. The 10-year Treasury has gone down just a little bit here. We do like that. We'd like the interest rates coming lower on their own. But here's another one to pay attention to is the 2-year Treasury at 3.56%. That is really good news because with the 2-year Treasury, what kind of goes into that is an inflation expectation. And if people are bringing that down to 3.5, that doesn't mean that they think inflation is going to be 3.56%. Because like you want more on top of inflation. But you see it coming down at all, that's good news because it represents, well, the inflation expectations are coming down. All right. We'll get into the inflation story here, but first, if you want a copy of this book for free, it's called Your Parents Were Wrong, Debunking and Replacing Outdated Advice. I will give you a copy of this book for free. All you have to do is head on over to my Substack. That's reinventideal.substack.com. I repeat, reinventideal.substack.com, and just click right here where it says free gift. And all you do is you subscribe to my Substack. It costs you absolutely nothing to sign up for my Substack. It is 100% free, and you will get a copy of this book for free because I will email it to you 100% for free. Now, let's check the vote. If it's going on here. Anything happening? Who's this?
Project funding. This bill provides critical funding support to America's farmers, ranchers, and rural communities.
Yeah,
it ensures both
already,
USDA and FDA can safeguard our nation's food and drug supply and fully funds nutrition programs.
Maybe debating for yet a whole nother hour before anything
Additionally,
occurs.
The bill closes the hemp loophole.
They've been going at this since about
unregulated,
4:30 p.m. over here on the East Coast.
They're being sold online and in gas stations.
Doesn't appear much is going to happen here yet with this vote. Man, what's going to happen is all these people, all the reps are going to get up there. They're going to bloviate. They're going to waste a whole bunch of time and taxpayer money and go, and then finally they will vote. I think like what they're trying, it's not necessarily filibuster, but what they're trying to do is like waste as much time as they possibly can so that their opponents get up and go pee or get up and go, oh, God, I need some food. I need some booze before I vote on this. Before I listen to any more of this idiot talk, I'm going to go get some booze. And they're hoping that because they got up and left, that there's enough of their opponents that have left so they can vote and get a vote out in their favor. All right. Now, things to talk about here. What caused the crypto bloodbath today? What the heck was going on to bring Bitcoin down from 105,000 to 101,500? What on earth could have inspired that? And I tell you, like, the answer, it's not so much that something occurred in the news today or in the markets today. I don't think it was anything like that. It is a lot of a strain on the Bitcoin market and crypto in general, with the government being shut down and liquidity conditions all across the board everywhere being very, very unfavorable. So any move made in any of these markets, particularly the altcoins, it's like, Bitcoin goes from 105 down to 101,500. Well, that's if that happens there. When Bitcoin does that, of course, the alts are going to bleed out a lot more as well. But what is it that caused this bloodbath here today? The low liquidity conditions that we're in, absolutely. That is a contributing factor to it. But also, there's a lot of those old Bitcoin whales, those wallets that hadn't moved in a long time, that are now saying, well, you know what? The trend has been down so far this quarter, and it looks like it's going to continue down, and it's the fourth year. And you know what? Maybe the 4-year cycle is a real thing. It's true, and I can't fight it. I'm not going to fight it. So let me just sell right now, because you know what? I'm already in profit. I'm a millionaire. I'm a billionaire now. I don't need to wait to become I don't need to go from being just a millionaire to a decamillionaire. I don't need to go from having $1 billion to $1.05 billion. I'll just sell right now. I live in Puerto Rico. I just moved here, and I'm fine. I'm going to take my profits. That's all I think is going on. And there'll be a lot of that for the rest of this quarter. There are some that are still holding out, hoping that there is a last-minute run before the year is over. I think there's a lot of holders that are doing that. And they're going to sell before the year is over, which is why you can completely throw away Q4, I think. I have no optimism at all about the rest of this year. In fact, I think that the year 2025 was, in fact, the bear market year of this cycle. I think the real top of this cycle was 2024 in December 18th or so. Oh, hey, they're going to start the vote here. Let's just check in.
The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I yield 2 minutes to my
they're not starting the
friend,
vote. They're having the rep from Oklahoma now
Republican Conference, Mr.
speak.
Gentlelady from Michigan
The
is
place looks
recognized
really
for
empty.
2
I
minutes.
mean, I don't think it's normal for a place to be that empty there. Oh, who's speaking
I
now?
love the compassion and the passion on the other side of the aisle. You know, we're worried about taking money out of families. Well, you know what? Y'all can do the right
my
thing
heart
and
bleeds.
vote
Taking
yes.
money from
If not, you're the ones that are taking money from needy families, not us, because yes means yes, we want to feed the families. We want to have SNAP programs. No means we don't fund those programs. See how simple that is? But keep on with the rhetoric. I mean, it's cute, but the American people don't buy it. So, I mean, listen, for the past 40 days, Democrats have inflicted needless pain on hardworking Americans. They stranded millions.
You see, like, the partisanship of it all here and everything, but it's entertaining to listen to every now and then. But it looks like they're still far from a vote. But what I was saying is, like, yes, I think that December 18th or so was the top of this market cycle because it made sense. Not only did you have a nice big run in Bitcoin, it kind of felt parabolic. Wasn't quite, but it was kind of felt parabolic. But you also had the alts going right up along with it, which in a bull market, that's normal. What we saw this year was not normal for a bull market, and that's why I'm calling it and saying it wasn't a bull market at all this year. I know some clowns want to argue with me on X and go, well, it's good. You're talking about, and I say to that, hey, look at the chart. The chart sides with me. If you want to argue, don't argue with me. Argue with reality, okay? See, I'm really kind of losing my patience when it comes to arguing with people. I'm like, I don't even care to argue with people anymore. I was trying to get a bear on here so we could have a thorough discussion on that the audience would learn from if they watched a very thorough discussion on what actually causes market cycles to occur, what causes bull runs and bear runs, what causes it all to occur. I was hoping that we could have a discussion like that. But one, I couldn't find anybody that was brave enough other than Pedro, and Pedro really wasn't all that bearish. And two, it seems like nobody really actually wants to have that discussion. They just want to be right in their own little world, and they want to stay in their own little world and keep pretending that they're right, and they want to go into their little closet and jerk off to the idea that they're right. That's all that they want. They don't want any debate or any other kinds of opposing views. They don't want to experience any freedom of thought. It's just like these idiots here in Congress that we're watching right now. All they want to do is live in their little echo chamber that says, "Oh, I'm right." How's the vote going now?
Chair and not to engage in personalities. The gentlelady from Connecticut is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have the greatest honor, really, to yield time.
Who's that purple-haired witch?
To the gentlewoman from California.
How do you look at this
distinguished
thing
Speaker Emerita,
and not
Ms.
think,
Pelosi,
oh my God,
and I
what a
might add,
witch.
probably the epitome of the best speaker that this nation has ever had, in addition to which millions of
You're talking about
Americans
Nancy
have
Pelosi,
health care
who,
coverage through the Affordable
is
Care Act
retiring
because
this year.
of Speaker Pelosi, and she's also Italian-American.
The absolute best stock trader ever to
And the
exist.
grandmother.
The gentlelady from California.
Oh, here she is.
recognized.
Thank
World's
you.
greatest
I
stock
thank
trader,
the
Nancy
gentlewoman
Lugosi.
for yielding, Madam Chair.
once and future chair of the Appropriations Committee, and thank her for her leadership and her kind words. I take heed, Mr. Speaker, of your comment to address my remarks to you and not to your colleagues. So I can say to you, and perhaps you can tell them, either they don't know what they're talking about or they don't care about meeting the needs of the American people.
What's her necklace made out
Do
of? It's
they,
made out of her
did
husband's
any one
balls.
of them vote? Did any one of them vote to eliminate a need for a pre-existing condition in healthcare? Not one of them. Did any one of them vote to say if your children get to be 26 until they're 26 years
Y'all
old,
let me
they
know
have
in the
access
chat
to
if
your
you can hear
policy?
this.
Not one of them. Did any of them vote to eliminate, bring a woman as being a pre-existing medical condition? Not one of them. The list goes on and on. Do any one of them vote for the Affordable Care Act, which, Mr.
Being a
Speaker, you can
woman
tell them, was
is a
paid for?
pre-existing
Was paid for.
condition
And then later,
for
when we decided that we
medical
could
care for health care.
extend the tax credits further
Oh my
so more
God.
people and
I
could
know we
have
got some
more
women here in the
access to
chat.
care.
Please
Did
tell
anyone
me
vote for that?
that
No.
you are as
So
insulted by that remark
all they
as
have
I
done
feel
is try
for
to
you.
eliminate
See,
access to health care in our country. The
It's
public
like
is
she just
catching
said
on
being
to
a
that.
woman is some kind of
You might tell
disability.
them if a woman is born with a child that has a heart condition, she's out of luck with what they are proposing. If a father gets a stroke, forget about it. If you have a sibling with a disability, they don't care. And if you have your wife has breast cancer, you've got big bills to pay because they want to take away.
Well, why don't you pay
take
for
away
the
health
bills,
care,
Nancy?
whether it's
You're
Medicaid
making a
to
killing
tens
in
of
the
millions of
stock
people.
market.
$500
Share the
billion
wealth, honey.
for Medicare for seniors and people with disabilities. Millions of dollars added to the cost for families.
Oh,
For
millions of
access
dollars.
to
I
the
thought you were
Affordable
talking
Care
about your
Act. The list
brokerage
goes
profits.
on and on. Either they don't know or they don't care. I'll say one more thing as a grandmother and a mother. How about the President of the United States on Halloween night
Gentlelady's
having
time has
a
expired.
Halloween party,
The gentlelady's
a
time has
Halloween
expired.
party, and
yield the
saying
gentlewoman
to
30
the
seconds.
Supreme
The
Court,
gentlelady is
please
recognized for
don't
15
make
more
me
seconds.
feed the children or the poor people in our country. Going to the Supreme Court for that means cruelty is not even comes close to the word that is needed for that
If
kind
it
of
was
thing.
Halloween
The worst
night and they really
president for
wanted to
children
be fed, they can
America
go
has
trick or
ever seen. I
treating,
yield
okay?
back.
The gentlelady from California yields back. The gentlelady from Connecticut reserves. The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I yield 2
This
minutes to
clown
my very
again
good
here.
friend,
Okay,
distinguished gentleman.
come back to this here. But, yeah. You're right, Mr. Barbarian. Absolutely brainless and crazy these people are. Absolutely brainless and crazy. Now, here's something that we want to discuss here is like the new project from Richard Hart. We want to get into that here. Let me just get everything pulled up here for that. Let me get his original tweet up. And then also like the sacrifice site, since that's gone live here too. Where did he put the thing? Gosh darn it. Knew I should have had it already up and ready here. Anyways, let me go ahead and like just spill the beans on what I think about this here is that when it comes to the sacrifice, I'm just going to say I'm not going to do it. Because here's the thing, like, one, I've never participated in any sacrifice, and I don't foresee that changing. I don't care how great the project is. I don't care who's behind it, who's involved in it. I just don't do sacrifices. It's not shade on the project. It's not that I don't like Richard, or that I don't like ProveX, or that I think it's crap. It's none of that. It's none of that. The deal is just that I don't believe in doing sacrifices because I just don't like them. To me, a sacrifice it's not investing. It's kind of like anti-investing the way that I see it. So like, I don't want to participate in a sacrifice. Where is that? Okay, here it is. provex.info. Let's bring that up here. All right. Just share the screen here for y'all. All right. So here's the project right here. If you want to sacrifice, I'm not going to. It's not because I don't believe in the project or I'm not excited about it. I just don't believe in sacrifices. And also, when we got prices like this, I'm more attracted to buy up coins over here like this than I am to go give up coins to make sacrifices. This has my attention more than anything new that Richard is doing. All right. So, like, hey, I support the idea here. Support you, Mr. Hart. I love what you do and everything, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love this ProveX thing here as well. But no, I'm not participating in a sacrifice because I just don't believe in sacrifices. Because when it comes to investing, I am a value investor. I need to be able to analyze a project not just on its merit, but also what is its current price and what is the relation between its merit and its current price. If I think it's mispriced, absolutely I will buy it. If its price is lower than the merit I believe it has. Or if the opposite is true, then I won't buy it. But when you have something that hasn't been released yet, I can't do that. When it's something that has just been announced, I can't make that analysis. So I'm not going to give up something that I own for not knowing, for something that I don't know what I'm getting. I don't know what price I'm getting it at. That's just anti-investing to me. That's why I don't do these. No shade on you if you do it. If you want to go do it, absolutely go do it. I'm not going to hating on you or saying you're inferior in any way if you want to. I'm just telling you, like, this is why I don't do them. There was a tweet I had pulled up here from Richard. Here it is. Okay, so a little bit about what it is. Ain't no mixer. The seller knows the address of the buyer because he sends coins there, and he knows the amount. The buyer knows the bank account of the seller, so there's no anonymity or privacy there between the two of them either. There's no bridging. There's no bridge. It's a buyer's bank account and a seller's wallet. Basically, no part of your answer was correct. There is no traditional fiat on-ramp. It's just a buyer with a bank account. So all you guys that said wallet, mixer, privacy weren't even close. The only private is the private prover is the fact that you can prove things without showing the things. You can prove you have paid. You can basically prove that any website with an SSL certificate showed you something because the proof is derived from the SSL certificate. It can be done for email as well, so the privacy isn't privacy in the mixing sense or the anonymity sense. The people sending money from a bank, obviously, or people sending money from a bank, obviously know where they sent it to. Does this really explain what it is? No, it doesn't. We're all still not quite sure exactly what it is here. I think that he had another tweet though that explained it. Pull that up here. Does he have it up here somewhere? I don't think he does. Okay, here we go. A coin that's never been done before will solve on-ramps, can transcend the blockchain entirely, solve things lots of other places. It would be nice if it attracted new communities by not being narratively encumbered by older things to start. In the end, though, I bet it will need a high throughput and a low fee place to do so. Where might such a place be, I wonder? Of course, talking about Pulse Chain. We'll get to this tweet here in a moment here about the stream coming up here and everything. But here's what's interesting to me about ProveX. What's very interesting to me about ProveX is that look at the chains that he is accepting from. All right, now we got the big ones up here. We got Ethereum, Solana, Base, Binance. Even takes from Bitcoin as well. There's some ones that kind of caught my eye right away. And that's going to be Monero and Polygon, which really hasn't done much this cycle. And what really stood out to me was Sonic. He's accepting sacrifices from Sonic. I'm like, whoa, what's going on there? Because you see, the thing about Sonic is that this entire cycle, it's done nothing but get kicked right in the balls and has gone down practically ever since launch. And these chains that we see over here, I mean, we know the story on a lot of them is, well, there's a lot of EVM chains, which makes sense because it's all pulse chain adjacent. EVM, just by the way, that means Ethereum virtual machine. And it just means that it's like, it either is like a fork of Ethereum or it exactly is a fork of Ethereum like pulse chain is. But then a lot of these other ones that he's doing, they are not EVM chains. They are their own thing. All right? Like Solana is its own thing. Binance is its own thing. Interesting. Or Monero, excuse me. Monero is its own thing. So what this tells me is that, well, I think this, we can read this as Richard is bullish somewhat on these coins, because why would he accept donations from coins that he believes are going to get their charts wrecked? I mean, you're doing this to raise money. Do you want to raise money that's in coins and assets that go up or go down? Now, what else is interesting to me is that I know everybody's complaining that he's not accepting any coins from Pulse Chain, but to me, it's absolutely obvious why he's not doing that. And y'all should expect that. You should have expected that to be the case. Why is that? Look at what Binance does, all right? If you're not familiar with like how Binance pumped their token, their Layer 1, the Binance Smart Chain, because that coin did have quite a run here. Let's take a look at that run that the Binance Smart Chain had recently. If we go back to over the course of the year, it's one of the few coins that went up. Like one of 3 coins that went up at all this entire year. And look at this, climbing all the way from the summertime to a new high of about 1,180. How did they do that when everything else was sucking? It's because Binance was able to build itself up at the expense of everything else because of the way their exchange works. You see, what Binance was doing was they took fees on every single coin, or every single trade that occurred on their exchange. They took fees in the coins being exchanged. So if I'm trading Ethereum for USDC, Binance takes a fee from both the Ethereum and the USDC in the trade and sends that to Binance's treasury. And then when it's there, they took those fees and they plowed and piled it right into the Binance Smart Chain token. That's what happened. All right? That's exactly how they did it. Crammed it right into BNB. So it was at the expense of every other coin that Binance went up, which is why it was such an outlier. I got a feeling that that's exactly what Richard is going to be doing with all of the sacrifice coins that come in here. Everything that he collects, he's going to be actually selling and plowing it into his new project or doing something with this money right here. He's almost up to 800,000 now. I think that he is going to be spending this money here. He is not going to be saving and stockpiling it like he was doing with the Pulse Chain sacrifice treasury. And that's the reason why he wouldn't take any Pulse Chain coins, because like he doesn't want to sell his own coins. He doesn't want to sell his own projects. And if you sacrificed one of his coins and gave it to him, he wouldn't be able to do anything with it. Because one, it'd be a huge story. Oh my God, Richard Hart is selling Pulse Chain. Our wallet linked to Richard Hart is finally selling Hex. Now you Hexicans no longer have that talking point. And oh my God, you would never hear the end of it from this one son of a... Try not to cuss. Try not to cuss here. I know some of you would listen with your children. This one miserable, pitiful, pathetic excuse of a man. I'm talking about Ivan on Tech. An absolute scumbag that I got zero respect for. Who every single day, every chance he gets, he puts out a tweet, he goes, post the cans! Oh, yes, 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 yes! Oh, yes, we're pushing the button. Pop the cans. I just don't understand why your coin is down. It's not like it's a bear market that we're in. I mean, every other coin in all of crypto is going up right now. Well, Ivan, no other coin in crypto is going up. I don't know. Don't interrupt me with the facts. Don't interrupt me with the facts here. I'm busy talking trash about Pulsatine. So Pulsatine, can you explain that to me? That's how he sounds. I hate that jerk so much. Like, bro, you dancing like a clown on people out there who are probably worried about the future of their family's finances. And you're dancing like a clown about it. It's like the same reason why I got zero respect for Eric Wall. And I'll tell you that, Eric, you better pray to Christ you never cross paths with me, because I will knock out every single one of your teeth in Minecraft. But I got zero respect for Ivan for the exact same reason, right? I would never do that, even when it's a project that I hate and despise. Or I don't really hate any projects, but when it's filled with people I despise, because there are people out there I don't like. When it comes to crypto, I'm rooting for all of crypto, but there's a lot of people in crypto I don't like, and I wouldn't shed a tear had they lost all their money. But I'm never rooting for that. Because, maybe they got families. Maybe they got kids that are dependent on the money that they lost. And for you to be dancing like a clown when that is going on just shows what a low-class piece of trash you are. And I hope to God you get... I'm going to try to get off that subject. I get a little too heated about... all the jerks out there, man. I'm probably going to start cussing and do something that gets me deleted off of YouTube here. Because, that's a concern I got to worry about. YouTube deleted one of my channels already, and they could easily nuke this one completely arbitrarily because YouTube just, they don't believe in communicating with their content creators about what it is that they don't like about what we're doing. They just go, oh, let's screw things up. Hey, you see that thing that's not broken? Let's fix it. Let's mess it up. That's another thing that get me heated. I got to stay off of that subject. Okay. So far here, I got 20 days until the rate increase begins. I think that this sacrificing goes on all the way up until January 20th or so. Interesting, because that's also the Lisa Cook hearing that we're anxiously anticipating. But, yep, almost 800,000 raised here so far. So if you want to participate, it's provex.info. I'm not participating just because I don't believe in sacrifices, and I'm a principled young man. All right, we got to talk about this tweet here about the Fed, and we're also about to talk about this here, but let's see. Let's check in on the vote. Let's see if the vote is moving on here, if they're actually doing anything with it. No, they're not. Okay, it's still just a bunch of talking. They might not get to the vote here while I'm on the air. What do you want to bet? I bill this out and advertise this like, yes, let's look at the live market reaction to the vote. And they probably don't even do the vote. All right. So, speaking of Richard Hart, it is rumored, just a rumor right now is all that it is, but it's rumored that he is going to start streaming in a few days. That's what this tweet here was all about. It says, if I were streaming video right now, which I am not, and won't be till I've written some pages of text I've been putting off, maybe a day or two, what are these burning questions you have? Well, he's actually asking us here, hey, what do you want me to talk about when I start streaming next time? Which, that's great that he's asking us about that. I have a complete speech fully written out of everything that he needs to say to reassure the community and to shut up all the haters. And I will share that with you tonight when we come back. But first, a little public service announcement. Why does crypto suddenly explode into unbelievable bull runs, only to crash just as fast? It's not luck. it's not random. It's macroeconomics. In Decrypting Crypto, you'll uncover the hidden forces driving every major crypto rally, forces tied to the global debt machine, central bank liquidity, and repeating market cycles. This isn't another blockchain basics book. This is the blueprint Wall Street doesn't want you to read. The playbook that shows you why crypto moves when it does, and how to spot the next bull run before it starts. Don't miss the next cycle. Read Decrypting Crypto. Arm yourself with the knowledge to ride the wave before it leaves you behind. Decrypting Crypto by Cairo Code. Available now on Amazon and Audible. All right. Really need to get back to writing here, because like the majority of my income now all just comes from my books. And I got to get a new one out here soon. I got like the ideas and everything, the outline ready to go. Haven't had much time to work on it. So if you see me like not streaming as much right there, it's because I'm working on the new book. But Decrypting Crypto is how you can explain to all of your friends what it is that causes the crypto cycle to happen. Because when this cycle takes off, and I do believe it will, next year, they're all going to come and ask you, hey, that crypto thing that you make a lot of money on, can you please explain it to me like I'm 6? And you'll be able to do that, because all you got to do is just say, well, I can explain it to you, or I can hand you this book here that explains it to you just like that. And you will know just as much as I know for that reason. And they will love you forever, because that's how good that book is. So here's how we're going to do this next segment right here. Is first, we'll put on the vote, just so we can keep track of it, to see if it's going to be happening. Got it muted for now, but we'll see if it's happening while I'm doing this next part here, which what we got to do next is talk about what should Richard Hart say during his upcoming stream, if he's going to have an upcoming stream. What should he say?
A legitimate question, young man, deserving a legitimate answer. Now then.
Well, but it's this this psychopath is back up here. The purple-haired psychopath.
Mr. Speaker, I oppose the Republican spending bill that makes health care.
Never mind, we just missed her. Oh, wait, what's this chart here?
Plus vacation. All our constituents were receiving notices of premium increases. A constituent of mine, a lifelong educator, has been told that her premiums will jump from $383 to nearly $1,000. Meanwhile, Trump and Republicans can find money.
Well, maybe we shouldn't have Obamacare then. Oh, my God. It really upsets me that we still have the Obamacare. For God's sakes, I thought that was supposed to get repealed during Trump's first term. But they didn't repeal it. And you know what really ticked me off back then? Like, this is why I didn't vote for Trump back in 2020. Is because they were saying, oh, we can't just repeal Obamacare. We got to replace it. No, you don't have to replace it. I mean, when you remove a tumor from your body, do you go, oh, man, we can't just remove the tumor. We got to replace it with something. No. That's all that Obamacare was. It's a tumor, and we should just get rid of it and pretend it never happened. If I do politics right here, I'll absolutely get fired up. But by the way, the reason why I'm covering this right here is that views about crypto across the board have been down. Like the last couple of live streams I've done have not been very watched, at least on YouTube. I get watched a lot on Twitter, but not on YouTube. So in order to get more audience, I find that like the best way to do it is to cover something live that's pertinent to the rest of the country. So that's why I'm really covering this here, but also to see, like, you know, if they get the vote in, we can see how does crypto react. I think it'd be interesting to cover that live. Now, back to what I really want to talk about is what should Richard Hart say in his upcoming live stream to reassure all of his followers, investors, that there is a grand plan that y'all can have faith in, and also to shut up all of his critics and detractors. I've got a few paragraphs written that, you know what, Richard, you can take this. If you're watching, you can take these and absolutely plagiarize them. I don't mind one bit. All right, here's how he should say it. I'll try to sound like him as best as I can, right? Hey, Hexicans, Pulse Chain Warriors, and all you beautiful people out there grinding in the crypto trenches. Richard Hart here, back on stream after what feels like forever. But hey, I've been building, not hiding. Listen, first off, massive shout out to everyone who's held strong through the storms. You know me. I don't do social media. I don't do DMs. I don't do emails or any of that noise. But today we're talking real talk because the future is brighter than a diamond-encrusted Lambo under Vegas lights. Let's dive in. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. The SEC nonsense, they came at me hard, called Hex a scam, Pulse Chain a fraud, all that FUD. But guess what? Court dismissed it all back in early 2025. SEC had until April to amend their weak sauce complaint, and they walked away with their tail between their legs. Total victory. No jurisdiction, no fraud, nada. I told you from day one, these projects are legit, built on code that's unbreakable, principles that last. Critics screamed, rug pull! But here we are, ecosystem thriving with billions in value, haters gonna hate, but results shut them up every time. Now, to all my loyal followers, my investors, the ones who staked, sacrificed, and believed, thank you. You've been patient, and I see you. Let me reassure you, I've got a grand plan, bigger than anything we've seen. Remember how we started. Sir, proof of work is nuking the environment, dumping prices. Okay, Hex is born, the first CD on the blockchain, up 1,000,000% because it rewards holders, not miners. Sir, Ethereum gas fees are sucking 50 million a day. Okay, Pulse Chain launches. Fastest chain out there. Copies everything cheap. Integrates with Morales for easy building. Lower fees to pennies. Sir, AMMs need better incentives. Okay, PulseX was born. Then Inc. for free tokens on LPs. Pump.fun or Pump.tires for meme coin wars. And now, sir, people want something fresh. A coin that transcends blockchains, solves on-ramps, attracts new blood without old narratives weighing it down. Enter ProveX. All right. And then he should talk all about ProveX right there. I'm not going to script that out or anything because I don't know too much about ProveX. I'm not sure how exactly it's going to work. All right. So, Richard, if you're listening, this is where you would talk about that. Now, you go on to say, my plan is for all of you to prosper. Everyone who holds, everyone who stakes, everyone who sacrificed. We've outlasted bears, regulations, everything. The ecosystem's positioned for moonshots. Massive gains ahead. Because I build for the long game, not quick flips. Oh, and the critics, the detractors, the FUD machines, still yapping in my mentions. Shut up. You called Hex a scam. SEC dropped it. You said Pulse Chain would fail. It's live, thriving, and solving real problems that Ethereum wishes it could. You ignored the millions we've raised for medical research, the tools we've built for the community. You have ignored the community's growth. You're silent on our wins, but you're loud on negativity. Why? Because you're not building. Because you're haters. Because you're inferiors. Haters. You're that guy that's crying about a new Lambo model when you've got the best one already. Weakness. If Lambo stopped innovating 50 years ago, you wouldn't even have wheels. Meanwhile, I'm out here dropping new projects like Pulse Chain, like PulseX, like Pump.tires, like ProveX, first of its kind, by the way, while you tweet from your mom's basement. So, investors, block out all that noise. Just go ahead and mute everybody that's being negative. Oh, wait, if I block you now, you can still watch from the cuck chair in the corner, but no post in my threads, all right? Elon, rename that button already. Seriously, though, this isn't about debate and trolls. It's about builders and believers. We've got regulatory clarity that no one else has. Pulse Chain's ready for mass adoption. Hex rewards staking, and ProveX is bringing fresh energy. What's next? More updates, more tools, more prosperity. So hit me up with questions in the chat. Let's build this together. All right? Oh, and Ivan, you really ought to shut up. All right? I thought you were a swell guy. I thought you were my friend, but man, you are a real low-class scumbag for talking so much trash about me when I'm not around to speak for myself. Absolutely pitiful. Shame on you. I'm telling your mother. Don't worry, I just got to go up the basement stairs to talk to your mother because we all know she lives above you. That's what Richard's got to say when he does his stream. And then interact with us answering questions. All right, what's going on with this pink princess here?
Because people are feeling it every single day. People can't make rent. They can't afford their prescriptions. They can't afford to take their kid to a doctor. They can't find childcare, and when they find it,
they can't afford to take their kid to a doctor. Oh,
spiking. This is the crisis of our time, and it's about to get exponentially worse because the GOP's craven allegiance to billionaires over working people.
And how much money do you think that we should be giving out for free to people to be able to take their kid to a doctor? Oh, man. Not trying to make light of it here or make fun of it, but I am trying to make fun of it here and everything. Looks like we're not going to get to the vote anytime soon here. All right. So, let's talk about some more stories that I had prepared here for today. So, Richard, hopefully he does stream. Hopefully he's serious about that tweet. And when he does, he addresses all of those things. Because really, the goal has got to be, you got to reassure the community that there is a grand plan and that you're not just winging it. Because a lot of people think that, oh my God, he's just winging it. That's why he's throwing new thing after new thing. You got to show them, no, there's a grand plan. And then two, you got to shut up all of your haters. You see, here's like a big part of the big cause as to why people have been selling and being bearish and fleeing the community. And it's not that there's that many people doing it. I mean, there's enough of them to make the charts red. But the reason why that's happening is because when you're a Hexagon, or when you're in the pulse chain community, you are going to be made fun of left and right by just about everybody else in crypto. You're going to be bullied and treated like trash. Everybody's going to talk trash about you. They're going to dance on your coin as it's down. And they're actively rooting for your failure. And I say that they're actively rooting because they don't just give out criticism that is legit. Because there is legitimate criticisms you can make, but they don't make those criticisms. I hear outright lies from these people. Outright lies about Pulse Chain and Hex. I hear a lot of haters out there still saying that the SEC case is still going on. I hear that from them. It's clearly not true. But that doesn't stop them from making up crap. That doesn't stop them from spreading it. Because I tell you, it is an order of magnitude to correct bull crap than it is to spread bull crap. So why are we experiencing this loss here is that you got all these haters that are constantly trying to kick us between the legs. Our founder was usually the champion for us that would come out and be like, your older brother who saw you getting picked on in high school by the bully, and your older brother who was twice the bully size would step in and beat the holy heck right out of the bully. I've never gotten to experience that because I never had an older brother, but man, that would have been great. It's like something to fantasize about when you were the little nerdy kid back in elementary school. Richard was that big brother that we could rely on in those cases. I mean, you remember those streams with, it was either Discourse Syndicate or his Crypto Cabana, where Richard would show up completely unannounced and defend the community. Oh, wait, Hakeem Jeffries is on. Okay, we should probably listen to him. But when Richard would show up completely unannounced and get into the fight himself and get his hands dirty in the fight, and tell those clowns like Cody What's-His-Face and Jason Siebert, hey, shut the fuck up. You're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. Now, please apologize and bow down to me. Oh, they're applauding. What could he have possibly
Tomorrow,
said?
we'll fight this week, we'll fight next week, we'll fight this month, we'll fight next month, we'll fight until we win this battle for the American people. That's our commitment as House Democrats. And there's only two ways that this fight will end. Only two ways, Mr. Speaker, that this fight will end. Either Republicans finally decide to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits this year, or the American people will throw Republicans out of their jobs next year and end the speakership of Donald J. Trump once and for all. That's how this fight ends.
He's the president. He's not the Speaker of the House, you big dumb idiot.
During this painful Trump-Republican shutdown.
Look at the people behind him. Isn't that the ugliest bunch of people we've ever seen? All boomers, by the way. And they all belong in nursing homes.
In terms of how to govern for the American people. The Democratic Party philosophy is clear. We
look at that, man. It looks like a gathering.
Are ready, willing, and able to find bipartisan
financial advisor free seminar
anytime, any place,
where he's fishing for
to
business.
enact spending agreements that actually make life better
boomers
for the
out
American
there.
people. But in order to do that, we need to have partners on the other side of the aisle who are actually willing
2 rows back
to find a bipartisan
looks
path
like he's
forward.
crap in his pants.
But what we've seen from Republicans from the very beginning of this presidency is a my way or the highway approach.
Yeah, that's why
been
it
the
should
Republican
be, because
philosophy.
we voted for them. And in November, clearly the message to people like you was, hey, Democrats, we don't like you very much. Why don't you sit down and shut up? This is our country now. You had your time to ruin it. Your time is over. Ugh. I don't know. You guys think I should do more politics here on the channel? I really don't particularly like politics. It's just going to be yelling and screaming every now and then. I'm getting pretty angry, all right? Because, like, there's just nothing redeeming about this whole process.
Trump found the time to pardon serial fraudsters like George Santos and Rudolph Giuliani. Donald Trump found the time to meet with the Chinese Communist Party. Donald Trump found the time to destroy the East.
Shouldn't you be happy about that? I mean, you're a communist. Aren't you glad that he's meeting with the other side?
$1 million from the Department of Justice so he could line his pockets. Donald Trump found the time to bail out Argentina with $40 billion. Donald Trump.
How much foreign aid do you usually vote for? How much of, like, working people's money here in the States you vote to send over to rich people in third world hellholes?
They have zero interest in fighting hard to make life better for the American people. Their philosophy, my way or the highway, our response, get lost. We're going to continue to fight hard on behalf of the American people.
Okay, well, you got the footage here for your next midterm election ad.
And a cost of living crisis that is very real.
You got your campaign ad footage there.
Despite what Donald Trump.
Oh, God. I can't stand this clown. All right. What was the other stories we wanted to cover here today? Here we go. All right. So here is finally some good news. National rent growth not only continues to decelerate, it's actually going down. This is not disinflation. This is deflation. And this is great, great news. If this continues, and I really think it will, if this continues, then all of these idiots at the Federal Reserve that are going, oh, man, we've got to be very data dependent and watch out for this sticky inflation, this persistent inflation that Jerome Powell just can't stop jerking off to in his little corner with his little stooges on the Fed Board of Governors and the Federal Open Market Committee. I mean, that's what they're doing. They got to go, oh, yeah, inflation. Oh, CPI. Talk dirty to me, CPI. Oh, yes, violate me, CPI. Keep going up because I don't want to start easing policy. Oh, heck no. I want to keep the rates as high as they are. I want to turn QT right back on. but you gotta turn me on CPI. That's exactly what they do. Okay, I guarantee it. I'm not in the Fed meetings, but I am 100% certain that that's exactly how they talk in the Fed meetings. But with this going on here, with deflation in the rent market, I promise you they're not going to be able to pull that kind of crap anymore. Because if rent is going down, and not just apartments, I mean, this is also commercial rent here as well, then everything else is going to follow suit. Just about everything else is going to follow suit, all right? Because like all the items at the store, they will all start going down when it costs less for those items to sit there at the store because rent is going down. And that will affect the CPI because rent is, or owner's equivalent rent is what they specifically call it. That is 33% of the CPI. So they can't keep this persistent inflation excuse going on. They won't be able to make that allegation anymore. They won't be able to hide behind that and continue a policy tightening stance. They won't be able to if rent continues to go down. And I do think it will. All right. And how about some real good news? I don't know if you can see this here on the chart, but this is like the Fed net liquidity chart that I've been showing for a long time here to kind of explain why is the market down? Why are we constantly getting kicked in the teeth here? It's because of this chart. As you can see, it's been a nasty drop ever since July, going straight down. But it looks like the trend is finally reversed. If you look at this, it's gone back up. It just added 75 billion back on the board. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more here. I don't think I can. But yeah, 75 billion is now back on the board in Fed net liquidity. If the vote goes through tonight to reopen the government, this trend is going to be reversed because the TGA will be emptied out and Fed net liquidity will go back up. And that is exactly what we want to have happen. Maybe then we might get something good happen in Q4. I still think Q4 is going to suck no matter what. But if you reverse this trend and you get a lot more liquidity going, and we do get a dovish Fed presser in the December meeting, maybe we get something good happening in Q4. I'm not hanging my hat on it, though. Now, here's another story here from Bloomberg that is very, very inspiring or very optimistic. Something that should give us the hopium that we all so secretly crave and so desperately want. New York Fed President John Williams said that the Federal Reserve could soon return to expanding its security holdings. If you were in the spaces last night, the Hexagon University spaces that Tam does, I was talking about this very thing. Lori Logan from, I think she's a Chicago Fed. I forget exactly which one she is, but Lori Logan had said the exact same thing. They may have to start expanding the balance sheet and then securities holdings. The net bond purchases would be the next phase of the Fed's approach to matching levels of cash-like assets available to banks for their needs. And the bond purchases will in no way represent a change in the underlying stance of monetary policy, says Williams. Oh, really? I mean, you stopped tightening, you stopped letting the bonds run off the balance sheet, and now you're going to start expanding the balance sheet. That, to me, sounds like the very definition of a policy change, a monetary policy change. I mean, here's the deal. It's like, they cannot come out and say, we're going to restart quantitative easing. Even if they're doing it, even if they are quantitative easing, if they're shooting the balance sheet up by $1 trillion or so, they are not going to say that they're doing it. They will tell you to not believe your very eyes. Because like even Stephen Mirren and Scott Bessent are saying, oh, we can't do quantitative easing. Well, we don't support quantitative easing. We would never do that. And then like when it does happen, they're going to say, oh, no, we're not doing that. But then when they point out, oh, hey, actually, you are doing that, I'll be like, oh, okay, well, we had no choice. That's how it's going to go. Despite the fact that like the majority of the market is depending on you guys to do quantitative easing. They're like, oh, we just can't do that. No, it's like one of the worst things ever. Oh, anything but that. Let's check the vote one more time. We've still got this clown up here.
Unless it's good trouble. I just wanted to stop by on the House floor to make sure it was clear to the American people that the spirit of John Lewis lives amongst House Democrats, and we will continue to get into good trouble to make their life better. That's our commitment to every single American all across this country from this day and for every day moving forward. And it was John Lewis who said to us that ours is not the struggle of one day, 1 week, or 1 year. Ours is the struggle of a lifetime, and maybe even many lifetimes. And each one of us in every generation must do our part. Mr. Lewis,
how about you do your part right now and get the vote going?
We were blessed by our opportunity to serve with you, and House Democrats are here to do our part. We're in this fight until we win this fight for the American people. I yield back.
Oh, he's finally done yapping. All right, let's vote.
The gentleman yields. Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities towards the president. The gentlewoman from Connecticut has 30 seconds remaining and is recognized.
Oh, purple hair.
I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentlewoman from Connecticut yields. The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's my distinct pleasure to yield the balance of our time to the distinguished Speaker of the House, my very good friend and a person I admire greatly. I'm actually just going to hold you to
Speaker
1
of the House
minute.
is going to speak. Okay, we'll stay on for this here.
My good friend, the gentleman from Louisiana, Speaker Mike Johnson.
I love
the gentleman from Louisiana is recognized.
He's like the high school nerd that finally got to sit at the cool kids table.
I want to thank my friend Chairman Cole's done an extraordinary job in this process. And Mr. Speaker, we all know why we're here. House Democrats voted to shut the government down. It was 54 days ago when we had that vote, September 19th. And since that time, Senate Democrats have voted 14 times to close the government. Republicans voted a collective 15 times to open the government for the people, and the Democrats voted that many times to close it. And then they admitted, many of them, and we could name them here, but I'm not going to take the time, they admitted that they were using the American people as leverage in this political game. They knew that it would cause pain, and they did it anyway. The whole exercise was pointless. It was wrong, and it was cruel. In mere moments, I want you to watch the board. They're going to do it again. I'm going to guess for you that most of our Democrat colleagues are going to vote again to close the government, again to take food out of the mouths of families that need it, again to deny pay to federal employees, again to stall flights and cancel airlines and do all the rest that they've done. But we are not going to let them succeed in that gambit. And that's right. While the Democrats keep voting to shut the government down, Republicans are going to vote to open it back up. And with that, we're going to get the American government running again and working for the people as they deserve. I'm going to close with this. You know, as Speaker, you have the ability to talk as long as you want, but I'm not going to do that tonight. We're not going to waste any more time of the people. I'm just going to say this. I think that everybody needs to remember this one simple thing. From the very beginning of this whole ordeal, on the Republican side, we operated in good faith. We offered a clean, nonpartisan CR. We were honest and transparent with the American people from the very beginning, and every single day of the shutdown, we went out and looked right into the camera with a press conference and told the American people the simple truth. We have done for the people what has been right and just and truthful. And in the end, that is what God honors always. Don't forget it. We need to get this government open as soon as possible, and I'm going to yield back the remainder of my time so we can do that. The American people demand it and deserve it. My friends, let's get this done.
I think that if the Speaker of the House is speaking, that means the vote is coming up here. Vote.
The gentleman yields. The gentleman from Oklahoma has 3 minutes remaining and is recognized.
I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields.
Excellent.
All time for debate has expired. Pursuant to House Resolution 873, the previous question is ordered. The question is on the motion by the gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chairs, the ayes have it. For what purpose does the gentleman from Connecticut
Mr.
stand?
Speaker, I request the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This is a 15-minute vote.
All right, here we go. Here comes the vote. And we're going to see, do they turn the government back on? And hopefully they do. All right, so far it appears that we are tied. And it's kind of straight down the line between the two parties. All right, now, yes is starting to outweigh the no's. 50s to 40s. Excellent. Looks like we might be making some progress right here. Oh, no, the Democrats are catching up here. Let's see. Man, it could be like a dead heap. Just looking from, like, how many Democrats are left to vote versus how many Republicans are left to vote. It could actually be a pretty close call here, like a photo finish, you know what I mean? Let's see. 300 members left to vote. Almost got them all in here. Or no, we don't got them all in. We got a long way to go. All right. Come on, people. How long does it take to get your votes in? It's an electronic device. All you got to do is press yay or nay, and then it's in. Apparently, they have to consult with each other. I mean, are you guys women making a decision on what color to paint the house? Is that what this is here? Where you can't make any independent decisions yourself. First, you got to go to brunch with your 15 girlfriends and have the committee review every single shade of white. Apparently, that's these people that haven't voted yet. That's the deal with them here. Is they got to go. Well, we got to remember that they're all boomers. And you know the deal with boomers is that they just can't make any decisions without wasting hour after hour. You all have had this experience where you're at the grocery store and right in the middle of the aisle, the boomer just stops. All right, not looking at anything, not doing anything, just completely stops. And it's like, hey, is this something that comes in with your AARP membership that says, oh, yeah, you now have the right to do this? Mr. Barbarian, I see your question there. Do you think the tariffs will be found unconstitutional by the Supreme Court? Probably going to be a very unpopular answer, but I think yes. In a way, it doesn't look good for the tariffs right now, because when we look at like the transcripts from the Supreme Court oral arguments, it just doesn't. Oh well, hang on a second. The nays outweigh the yays. We'll come back to the vote here, but what I was saying is that the Supreme Court doesn't look like that they are buying the constitutionality of these tariffs. The justices all seem to have expressed skepticism about that. And all of the companies that have been collecting the tariffs, all the importers, they said, well, we kept really good accounting records of the money that we collected through these tariffs, or that we paid through the tariffs. And we could easily pay that money back if we're ordered to. So it wouldn't cause so much of an economic disruption or it wouldn't cause a disruption to these companies. It would cause a huge disruption, though, to the general economy at large, though. Because if you have to refund that tariff money, the national deficit, the federal deficit is going to go way, way up. It's going to widen and like much bigger, almost double the size that it is here. Well, guys, it looks like the government might not get reopened here because we got 104 nay and 101 yay. But still, there's more Republicans left to vote than Democrats. And assuming that the Republicans vote straight down the party line, well, then we would be reopening the government and everything would be fine. Because about, 219 Republicans versus 214 Democrats. So if they go straight down the party line, we get it all voted in. But the thing about Republicans is that you can't count on them to vote straight down the party line. You can't vote on them to do the right thing. You can't vote on them to use their brains, because so much crap that this country never needed to experience, never needed to have, was brought upon us by Republicans. I mean, like, if you don't like stimulus checks, or even the word stimulus, you know who came up with that? The whole idea of stimulating the economy by doing anything. You know who came up with that? It's a socialist policy, but it didn't come from a socialist or a Democrat. You know where it came from? It came from John McCain. One of the biggest pieces of trash this country has ever seen. Got no respect for him. Everybody's going to say, oh, he's a war hero. He served honorably in Vietnam. Yeah. And what have you done for us lately, John? Hey, the whole reason he got, he owes this country a lot of money here, because like the whole reason he got caught was because he crashed his plane over enemy lines. It's getting pretty close here, though. It's an exciting vote here. I never thought we'd find so much excitement watching numbers on a screen ticking away. But yes, Mr. Barbarian, I do think that if you ask me, like right now, if I had to put a probability on it, I'd say 70% chance the tariffs are found unconstitutional. And I'm not the only one that thinks that, because when you look at the betting markets, they're kind of putting the same odds on that as well, that the tariffs get found unconstitutional. Now, how much of those tariffs have to be refunded, or do they have to be refunded? That's a different story. I don't know anything specifically on that. I don't know if that plays out. It could play out like that, but that would probably be like another Supreme Court case, which, oh man, I hope it doesn't go there, because then we have many more months of uncertainty. And man, we got enough uncertainty. Okay, it is now neck and neck here in the vote. 124 yay for reopening the government, and then 125 nay to not reopen the government. And that's what they mean by on motion to concur in the Senate amendment. Eddie Pulsechain says, open the government now! Roar! Yes, that's what I say too here. Open it now. Right? Here's what I don't understand here is like all these people in this room, the House of Representatives, all these people, technically they all work for me. They work for us, all right? So they all work for me. So I should be able to walk in there and be able to yell at them and say, hey, you scumbags, you lazy, worthless slackers, you stupid, pitiful boomers that all belong in a nursing home, you work for me, and your grandstanding debate idiocy is just annoying everybody in sight. Shut up and vote. And oh, guys, look, it looks like we are going to get the government reopened because one of the Democrats has broken with the rest of the party. Just one has broken. Two now. Two Democrats have broken. Oh, no, just one. Never mind. Just one. I guess he changed his vote. One Democrat has broken with party lines and has voted along with the Republicans to reopen the government. And see, we might get it reopened if everybody else just votes according to party line. Can't quite rely on that just yet here, though, because it's still neck and neck. All right, now the reopening the government is in the lead. 139 yay, 136 nay. Why is it taking them all so long to vote? Man, it's not like they're waiting in line to put their little ballot in a ballot box. It makes zero sense to me why this is taking so long, but it is taking long. You guys are voting on an electronic device, but I guess it's because y'all are boomers and you're a bunch of technophobe neophyte boomers that go, I don't know how to work this electronic device. Is that what's going on here? I bet that's what's going on. Probably all going, oh, why would anybody want blue teeth? These are the same boomers that are like your bosses and won't let you work remote because they all go, well, if I can't see you, how do I know you're working? Yeah. All right. Looks like we are reopening because there is 6 now in the lead in favor of reopening the government. The motion to concur in the Senate amendment. The continuing resolution to get the government funded I think it's till January 30th, so it doesn't keep it funded for that long. We'll probably run into this problem again here in January. That's why I also think Q1 is not going to be a great quarter for us. I mean, Q4, we can throw it away already here, but Q1, it's neck and neck again. 159 to 158. Ye is in the lead, though. But he's Q4, we can already throw it away. It's not going to be a good quarter four. But Q1 is not going to be that great either, I don't think. And a lot of people are going to be calling, oh, yes, 2026 is the bear market. Oh, another Democrat has broken party lines and voted in favor of reopening the government. It is still neck and neck, though. 164 to 164. Yay versus nay. It's going to be, somebody will break the tie there. They don't have a tie in the House of Representatives because, let's see, like, it's 437 representatives, I think. I forget exactly how many. I believe it's 437. All right, the nay has taken the lead here yet again. Oh, they put a time limit on these boomers here now, so I guess some of them are going to be waiting until the very last minute to get their vote in. Some of them are going to be going, or maybe they're waiting for any last minute bribes because they're trying to see how close does it get while it's still neck and neck, and then hoping that they can get some sort of bribe and backroom deal from one of their own little buddies that they go to the congressional gym with, and they sit next to in the congressional sauna, totally butt naked with just a tiny little towel on. And as they're sitting there totally butt naked with their man boobs hanging out and their nasty hair all over their body that looks like pubes all over them, and their friend from the other side of the aisle comes over and is like, hey, that bill that we're going to vote on? Well, I'll vote for what you want on another bill that we're going to vote on if you vote my way. That's exactly how it happens, all right? I'm not a political science major, but I have seen plenty of political thrillers. I've seen the Manchurian Candidate, so I know exactly how the U.S. government works. Man, neck and neck here again. 175 to 175. Oh, nay took the lead here at 176. We got just 82 representatives left to vote. How are they going to vote here? Getting interesting. Just 3 minutes and 10 seconds left on the board to get their votes in. Wonder how is the market reacting to all of this here? I'm going to check. Oh, well, hey, looky here. We got some positive upward price action in the markets. It's not that great yet. I mean, it's not really even 1% on Bitcoin. But still, it's at $102,479. So almost $1,000 has been added to the price tag of Bitcoin. I guess just from the suspicion of what's going to play out here, that they are going to vote to reopen the government. I'm thinking that's where that came from here. Even though the nays are currently in the lead, you still got 39 Republicans left to vote. Not a single Republican has broken party lines. Oh, man, we're getting pretty close here to the end. 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and 67 representatives left to vote. We'll see. Do we open? Do we reopen? Or do we continue to make excuses and go, whoa, we'll see about that here. Almost there. Yay has taken the lead again. We've hit the 2-minute warning. Now it is tied. What's left? Yay takes the lead again. It's going almost right down the center. Come on now, get those votes in. All right, Yay is taking a more sizable lead of 3 votes. Keep going. Come on now, 46 representatives left to vote. Yay is in the lead. They will reopen it if the Republicans continue to go straight down the party line. And I think that Mike Johnson is very good at getting the Republicans to vote that way. He's very good at kind of getting them to all act in unison. A lot of people don't like him, but I don't mind Mike Johnson that much. I loved all those pictures of him sitting at the table with Trump and Vance and RFK Jr. 1 minute left in the vote here, by the way. I love those pictures because it looked like Mike Johnson looked like the geeky. He looked like the high school nerd that finally got invited to sit at the cool kids' table, and he just had like the biggest smile on his face the whole time. All right, man, it's very close. 201 yay, 199 nay. 40 seconds left, 33 representatives left to vote. Man, you schmucks better get your votes right in. As you got 30 seconds left. And man, it is close. 202 to 201 in favor of reopening. 20 seconds left. What are you guys holding out for? Okay, a third Democrat has now broken party lines and voted to reopen the government. That's good. There is a 4-point lead now to get the vote reopened. And man, 27 still haven't voted. Looks like yay is going to pass. Time is up. Are they still taking votes, though? Looks like they're still taking votes. Yep. Oh, yeah, they're still taking votes. So what was the point of having time? What was the point of having a timer on it if you're still taking votes? But there are 23 representatives left to vote. A very comfortable lead in favor of reopening the government. 211, yay. 203, nay. 18 representatives left. Oh, man, it'd really blow it if, like, all 18 of them just went for, went against the measure. Come on now. Come on, boomers. Get your votes in. Almost there. And how's the market doing in response? No, it's not moving that much yet. 16 left, 15. Excellent. Finally getting some progress. A very comfortable lead for a reopening. And a fourth Democrat has broken party lines. I don't really think that they needed the... Oh, wait, one Republican has actually voted nay. I wonder who that was. I don't think that they really needed to siphon off that many any Democrats at all here, because they had a sizable majority in the House already. All right, now there's five vote lead, and 13 representatives still holding out. Apparently, they can't figure out how to work the electronic device that they're supposed to use to do the voting with. Oh, 2 Republicans now have broken party lines. 5 Democrats have broken party lines. 12 left to go. 11 left to vote. What was the whole point of the timer down below if, like, you don't strike the gavel at the end of the timer? Like, what the heck was the point? All right, just 10 votes left. Still almost done. Almost. These 10 are apparently the oldest farts in the House of Representatives. That, you know, first they got to finish their prune juice. Then they got to put their dentures back in. Then they've got to put their glasses back on and be like, oh, oh. All right, 9 votes left to take. A 10-vote lead in favor of reopening the government. 11 now. 6 left. Okay, almost done. Almost done. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much figured out here. Like, the nays could not catch the yays, even if all the remaining 4 voted in favor or voted against it. So I don't know why we're waiting for these final 3 votes to come in here, because even if they voted the opposite way here, they wouldn't change anything. And what are you guys doing? What are you 3 idiots doing? You 3 stooges, Larry, Curly, and Moe, what are you doing? Waiting and holding everything up right now when the decision is already made. It's already decided. You cannot keep the government shut down. It's over. Surrender. But they still insist on it. All right. Market's only up just a tiny bit here, so I don't think it's reacting to this news. And I really don't quite expect it to react that much to this news here. So these three stooges apparently don't want to accept reality, and they're holding out, and they're going to be like, ah, thinking that they can just sit there forever, kind of like a voting filibuster, and they're going to keep the government completely hostage. I bet it's the purple-haired lunatic from Connecticut and Nancy Lugosi is also probably holding out. And then who else could it be? I don't know, Jasmine Crockett or something? I bet it's those three clowns. Okay, two left. Okay, so there's two clowns. So which two of those three are the two stooges? Made one. Well, I'm going to say one's a Republican. So, yeah, who could the Republican be? Who could the Democrat be that's like refusing to finalize this thing?
On this vote, the yeas are 222, the nays are 209. The bill is passed. The motion is adopted.
All right, good news.
Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Excellent. So now the House has passed the resolution, the continuing resolution, to reopen the government. And this should get to the president's desk come tomorrow. Or they might bring it to him tonight here. But yeah, House passes the funding bill to end the record-long government shutdown. We don't know when they get it to the president's desk.
The chair lays before the House a communication.
Well, that is its next stop. That's the next
Honorable
stop.
the Speaker, House of Representatives, sir. I respectfully request to be relieved from assignments to the House Armed Services Committee and the House Select Committee on Competition between the United States and the Chinese Communist Party, effective immediately. It has been an honor and privilege to serve on these committees on behalf of my constituents and the American people. Signed sincerely, Mikey Sherrill, Member of Congress.
Without objection, the resignation is accepted.
What else is going on here? Anything that is worth listening to? Probably not. I think that's the end of all of that here. So, let's check this out now. How is the market reacting to this? I got a feeling it's not doing anything. But let's see. Man, why ain't the window open? Come on now. There we go. All right, so the news is up here that, yes, they have passed the bill. Yay. This is good because, like, so many flights were being frozen here and everything because of all the disruptions. How is the crypto market doing? It's not doing anything for it. I mean, it's only up a tiny bit from 101,500 to 102,100. Can't really say that it's having much of a reaction here based on that news. All right. Now, let not your heart be troubled, because it ain't over yet. There is a lot more still coming down the pipeline. A lot more still to happen. And we are getting some positivity in some of these coins here, but overall, this upward price action is really nothing to write home about. Nothing to write home about just yet. So I'd like to say, oh, okay, yes, now the bear market is totally over. The 2025 bear market, I mean, is totally over, and now we're in the bull market years. Can't say that yet. It's only a mild reaction going on here to the government reopening. But hey, finally some good news. It's better than the government staying closed all this time. All right. So, a few things that we're waiting for to finally occur here. We know that Richard may be streaming in the next couple of days, hopefully. sure hope that that's the case. And if so, well, then I'm going to cover that. I'll do a stream, not at the same time, but I'll do a stream breaking down everything that he says there. So hopefully he does come back and live stream. But yeah. Next move right here is waiting for Trump to sign the resolution, get the government reopened, and then the Treasury General account emptied out, get that money back circulating into the system, into the economy. And then we've got the Fed meeting coming up in December, which has a lot of uncertainty around it. Then we've got the big Supreme Court cases in January. We're going to have a ruling, I think, in January on the tariff case. And then we're going to hear oral arguments on the Lisa Cook case. So a lot of uncertainty between now and January. And really, I'm not too optimistic about Q1. Unless this happens here. Like, here's the optimism I do have about it, is that if the tariffs get ruled unconstitutional and are ordered to be refunded, well, that is going to cause a lot of chaos at first. You'll see these markets go down and go down hard, not just crypto, but the stock market as well. And the bond market too. Those bond yields are going to shoot right up through the roof. If that happens, the Federal Reserve, I think, goes into an emergency meeting where they take rates, they take them down a lot further. I don't know if they go all the way back down to zero, but they'll take those rates down a lot further than they've taken them. And they're going to have to start doing some money printing as well. I don't see any way that they can get around not doing the money printer. All right. So that's what I've got to say here for today. But I do got one message for everybody out there that is thinking about hitting that sell button.
Control yourself!
Make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. All right. Think about what you're doing before you do it. All right, listen to Margaret Qualley when she tells you that. That's all I've got to say for today's stream. Have a good night.
That is it for us today, you glorious degens. Smash that subscribe button to join the rebellion, and follow me on X at ReinventIdeal for more unfiltered truth bombs between live streams. And if this was your first time listening, head over to reinventideal.substack.com, because I have a free gift waiting for you there. If you become a free subscriber, you'll get a free copy of my book, Your Parents Were Wrong, Debunking and Replacing Outdated Advice, packed with the wisdom to outsmart the system. It's absolutely free to join, so no excuses. Grab it before the suits catch on. And remember, the bears get blocked right here and told to shut the FUD up. Until next time.